And Daredevil. He hasn't seen Daredevil yet.
I'm
so,
just along for the ride tonight.
basically, I just want to say that I think the show is very good. It is. It's not so much an origin story as it's an origin story of how he got the costume, more or less. And it does go over a little bit of the actual origin story as a kid, how he grew up, and why he became who he is.
Hell's Kitchen.
Hell's Kitchen. It's actually a real place in New York. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very good show. I recommend it to everyone.
We're also sponsored by Mountain Dew.
It's very grimy. It's a dark comic. I would recommend, if we were in a time and place where like internet speeds was infinite, I would recommend that everyone start making shows and put them on Netflix or some kind of online medium rather than television, because if you put Arrow online, it could be a lot grimier, a lot grittier. And you can't tell me that when you're in situations where you got to fight and kill people, you're never going to swear and you're never going to go above and beyond with the things you would say to someone. In this show, you can have that, and in any show you have online, because there's different rules, you can have that also. So, as much as I like Arrow as it is, it would be a little better if they could go that extra level. But
speaking on that note, apparently the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. spinoff is supposed to be an online-only thing.
Is it? Is it going specifically to Netflix?
I haven't heard where it's going to end up, but I have heard rumors that it's going to be a specific online only. It's going to be streaming, and that's the only way you're going to be able to get it. Which is fine, because that's going to bring more audience to that volume of market, which it needs something to bait them in. It really does need something to bait them in. Doing a one-off series like Daredevil, good job, Netflix. I'm not taking anything away from you. I will not. Amazon Prime doing the same thing. You need to grab onto something that's already popular and take a piece of it to yourself. That's what's going to build your market. In this, whoever lands the Marvel series is going to build their market wholeheartedly by leaps and bounds.
Daredevil is going to have some tie-ins. They're making a Jessica Jones show. I don't know Marvel as much, so he might know who Jessica Jones is.
No clue. I drink way too much to remember that kind of shit. Luke Cage, vaguely.
How about Iron Fist? He looks cool. I'll give him that. He looks really awesome. But
you know they're not going to put him in that costume. If you've seen the costume, it's yellow and green. It's straight up 70s butterfly collar. Look at my navel.
They won't.
They're straight up not doing that. But that's the costume. Look up Iron Fist, though. It's a very interesting storyline. Not near as interesting as Moon Knight, which they could throw in there if they wanted to as well. I'm just saying.
I would love to see Moon Knight.
I love Moon Knight, but they're not going to do it. But if they did, that would be the way to go with it. But anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. You're basically just spitballing. They're all going to get their own show, and eventually you're going to have a tie-in. It's going to be the Defenders, and they're like, what would you say? They're third tier or second tier? Third tier. I would say Daredevil's
not a third tier character.
Daredevil and Iron Fist I consider close to second tier. You good? Yeah. They're second tier characters. God damn it.
Iron Fist could be third tier. Like, not a lot of
he's
people
on the
know
fence
about
because he does have a magical power. His backstory's pretty good, I guess.
Well, a lot of people thought that when the movie coming out with that dude from Wu-Tang, the man with the Iron Fist, a lot of people interpreted that as being Iron Fist, and not even close. Not even slightly close. Not even in the same zip code.
We will see how this... What did you say? Ant-Man 2 or 3? Tier.
Ant-Man was an Avenger. Like, straight up
So is Daredevil, and so is Iron Fist.
No, Avenger, not Defender.
No, Daredevil wasn't the Avengers. And so was Iron Fist.
I'll have to give him second tier then, because it depends on what knowledge you're going off of. Because if you go with Marvel's Ultimates storyline, and this is way back when, not even part of Knights, just Marvel Ultimates, when they rebooted a lot of their characters, Ant-Man and Wasp were primary Avengers. Like, they were on the forefront of everything. So if you go by that storyline, they're primary. But if you go by the basic storyline from 80s, 70s back that way, 90s even. Yeah, 90s, 80s, 70s, not so much. They're just there as filler.
I think what a pattern they start having with comic books is you have the higher tier characters, and everyone just ends up knowing their story eventually, even if you're not a huge comic book fan. So then they bring up the lower tier characters, and then they expand on that, and it's gradually how they keep doing it. And so, like for example, Batman and Superman, obviously, let's say probably the two most popular in DC. Easily. And then you throw Green Lantern and Flash. And then
Green Arrow. Green Arrow gets it. Green Arrow gets
well,
the second
here's
nod.
Green Lantern. That's a perfect example because Green Arrow, probably like in the 70s and 80s, was like third tier or lower tier.
Nobody gave a shit until Kevin Smith rewrote him.
And then it got its spotlight, and now people are knowing that. So now we're going to have other tier characters like that are showing, like for example, Deathstroke is like not exactly a high tier like villain. To me, he is. He's a very good villain, but in most people that are not read up on comic books, but
they don't even know who he is.
Yeah, that just know the generalness of like everyone can probably tell you the origin story of Superman and Batman. Not everyone can tell you the origin story of Arrow.
No,
I bet you find any Joe on the street will tell you how did Batman become Batman? I'm like, well, his parents were killed.
Everybody knows how Batman became Batman.
Exactly. Superman, same thing.
I would honestly go as far to say the same about Green Lantern. That's
Wonder Woman. Yes, I would say yes on Wonder Woman and Flash, but not so much.
Maybe Green Lantern second tier, but a lot of people now know, thanks to Ryan Reynolds, who's going to play Deadpool, by the way, February 15th, 2016. Mark it on your calendar. Just keep.
I can't wait to see Marjorie, whatever her name is, as Copycat. She is the queen of comic book stuff right now. She's Gideon. She was Leah Tompkins. She does a lot of voice in every one of the DC cartoon movies, and she does a couple in Marvel also. She's the queen of everything.
She's all over the place. She's
awesome.
Yeah, science fiction.
That's her thing.
She's in it.
She's the queen of like science fiction, TV shows, movies. Like she doesn't have the hugest parts, but she has parts that are just
but the parts she plays are worth it. Totally worth it.
Just so that's what they keep doing. You have the higher tier character. Everyone knows, no matter who you are, someone out there, you can ask any Joe on the street, what is the general origin story of Superman and Batman? And you have the same thing with, you probably do the same thing now with like Captain America and Iron Man, and like X-Men and all and so on and so forth. You can pretty much know that there's a basic origin story, and now they just keep bringing lower tier characters to the front fold and making them higher characters. Now everyone's knowing their story. Oliver Queen, trapped on an island, had to survive, became this awesome assassin, so on and so forth. So
yeah,
that's like a pattern they're doing. And with Daredevil, I didn't think Daredevil was like a lower tier character, but he's not like the rest of Marvel.
He's the odd man out.
Who would you compare Daredevil to in DC? I was going to say Nightwing. The only difference is Nightwing is a little better trained, Oracle, and is strong. Oracle is paralyzed from the waist down, first off.
Always operating in the backdrop. Not quite sure what's going on, but they're doing business regardless. And then you got to think about who Oracle's work with and who Daredevil's work with. Oracle's worked with everybody, but not everybody's familiar with her. Daredevil's worked with everybody, but not everybody's familiar with Daredevil.
I said Nightwing because their fighting styles are very similar.
Yeah, but
you know the staff thing.
Well, you're looking at it differently.
I'd say they're even, and this is why they're even. He is trained by I can't remember the organization that trained him. There's the Hands, and then one group called the Hands. That's what Elektra was in, and he's in the other group. I can't remember what it's called right now.
Yeah.
But he was trained by one. There's two groups, and
the
one group,
Hand.
the Hand, and the other one was in the other group.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But he was trained in very good organization. But Nightwing was trained by Batman, who was trained by Ra's al Ghul. Batman, human-wise, greatest fighter on Earth. Human-wise, you can argue
peak of human physical potential
and mental potential. I say too.
Well,
peak of human potential all around.
We were just talking about that.
And he trained Nightwing, and Nightwing, who was Robin, became a hero in himself and a great human hero. And I would say he's like second to like Batman. Okay, and so he's trained by he's better trained. I'll say that. But Daredevil has the enhancements of the stuff in his eyes that enhances his senses. So that's why I say they're about even. But other than that, their fighting styles are very similar.
Well, I was just comparing character to character. I wasn't going off fighting style or physically trained or whatever. I was just not very many people know of Oracle But those that do know that she's connected to everything. Not very many people know of Daredevil, but those that do know he's connected to just about every damn thing going on. I mean, literally, he's worked with the X-Men, he's worked with the Avengers, he's worked with even the Fantastic Four. At some point in the Marvel Universe, he's that guy that's always there, but not everyone's aware that he is there.
I'll get your comparison.
Yeah, that's why we just went two different ways with our comparison. That's all.
His Mystique, I'll agree. I was just going off like his fighting style and his powers and so on and so forth.
Bottle? Okay.
So, and I just wanted to give a shout out to Daredevil. I thought it was a great show. It's on Netflix. Go watch. You can binge watch it. One weekend's 13 episodes, about 55 minutes an episode. You don't get. That's one thing I do like about Netflix. You can get a show knocked out. Like, it took me like 2 weeks. So I was watching that on top of my other shows. But you can.
I need to knock it out, but I just.
It's when you get the chance. It's good.
Going through. It took me a while to get through Spartacus,
and
but I did.
We will not talk about it again on the podcast. But when you're done, I do want to have that conversation because I do think that if they're starting to make more shows like that, Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to go down the drain because this show, if it's that gritty and that grimy, I think it's just going to people are going to watch that over like Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where it's kind of a little more tweenish. It's not tween, but
I like the fact that they're keeping it PG-13. Like, I don't know, that's one of the things I enjoy about it because I know I can sit my son down beside me and watch it and I ain't got to worry about nothing.
I mean, that's true, but
at this point,
your 18 to 35 range is going to go for Daredevil more than they're going to go for. Once you watch it, you'll understand what I mean.
I watched Spartacus. Did I not watch all of Spartacus? Every last single episode? Did we not have at-length conversations on here about it?
And that was a great show. That show was.
It was
awesome.
fun. It was good. It was good for me. I just my mindset's a little bit different now. It is what it is. But I'm still sitting here drinking. So what does that say about?
Telling you have to finish it tomorrow, bud. Just at some point, whenever you watch it, we will have a discussion about it.
Good, Dad.
Whenever.
So is the top 10 going to be its own separate thing, or are we just going to kind of segue that off of this because it kind of ties into?
It'll be its own separate thing. I'm going to go real quickly. I'm going to talk about DC teams.